So I've got a great story for this. So about 10 years ago, Kelly and I started building this house. A house that we wanted to build on the farm and knew we'd probably live in for a super long time, maybe forever. There's a super cool website called Houzz. That's Houzz. It lets you create these idea books. So Kelly had an account and I had an account. And we'd literally just go in there and just sort of dream for that year or so before, right? You'd look at all these pictures of inspiring kitchens or bathrooms or these outdoor areas. Like I love to look at the pools and the patio, like the parts of the house where you could just envision people are gonna be hanging out with friends, where you could see yourself relaxing and unwinding. So we took a few months and we both started to create these idea books. And she liked the New England sort of coastal home exterior. I like the more Colorado mountain style home, but surprisingly, the inside, the interior, our tastes were almost identical. Mine were maybe a little bit more rugged, but when we came together, we started to show each other what we liked, what we really liked, and what we loved. And there was one common denominator: a single architect who had designed multiple houses on both of our lists. And literally there's thousands of things to pick from. So this is it was pretty nuts. So we called this guy up, and it turns out he lived in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So just a few hours away. It was a little bit expensive, but we figured like if he could design something that looked inspiring to us, it would be worth the money. So he hops in his car, he drives to Ohio, and we met with him in our office for almost 2 hours. So we go back and forth. We're showing them all these pictures and ideas, like things we could envision, in our home. And then he wanted to see the land. So we had a few locations on the farm where we could potentially build, but we took him to the first one. We drove up on the gator, he hopped off, and Kelly and I were talking to him. But as he started to sort of stare out into the orchard, he literally shushed me. He didn't even turn around. He just raised his hand like a stop sign. And his wife said, wait, just give him a second. He needs to be one with the land. So we just shut up. He stood there in silence for at least 10 minutes. It was completely quiet. I mean, I didn't even want to whisper to Kelly next to me. And then he turns around and he says, I see it, I've got it. I'm gonna send it to you in 2 weeks. And 2 weeks later, he sent us an architectural rendering of the house that we live in right now, the house that we're actually recording this video in. And it was perfect, it was incredible. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Making your spaces have this sense of wonder, make them inspiring. Not just what's acceptable, but rather like what is exceptional? What would an exceptional space look like to you? And I'm not saying that you need to build a new house. This could be just you starting with one room and make that space exceptional. Make it have wonder, make it incredible. Maybe it's like a gallery wall of your favorite travel photos, you exploring the world with people you love. Could be your office where you put like books and mementos. Maybe it's background music that's on nonstop, or a water feature in your house. Maybe you surround yourself with motivational quotes or art that speaks to you. And don't forget the lighting. Good lighting can completely transform the feel of a space. So try a mix of natural light from windows, soft table lamps for warmth. You could try some string lights or LEDs for ambiance. The key here, I think, is to create a warm, inviting atmosphere, something that makes you feel good in your space. But the biggest key is to choose items that have meaning to you and bring you joy. This isn't really about impressing anybody else or following this design trend. It's about creating a space that feels like a true reflection of you. When you walk into a room and feel like, I'm home, that's when you know you've nailed it. Obviously, this is going to be great for emotional health, mental health, but why does this matter for overall health? Well, like we said before, our environments are like the connective tissue between our inner and outer worlds. They have the power to shape our thoughts, our emotions, even our physical well-being. If you think about this, if you hate your kitchen, you're probably not motivated to cook healthy meals. But if your kitchen inspires you, if it has beautiful cookbooks and fresh herbs on the windowsill, then suddenly this whole process just feels a lot easier, more inviting. The same goes for mental health. If you're constantly feeling stressed and overwhelmed by your surroundings, it's gonna take a toll on your emotional well-being, either instantly like that day or over time. So here's the big idea for you. They say the secret to contentment is to want what you already have. Because if you want what you already have, then you have what you want. And this is exactly true for our spaces. If we're trying to build a life that we love, then the more you love where you are, the more of your life you're actually going to love. So here's my challenge to you this week. Just pick one space that you spend a lot of time in or want to spend a lot of time in and give it a flow makeover. It could be your bedroom, your home office, your kitchen, whatever feels most impactful for you. And then just do it. Make it yours.